This is the AllPowers R1500 portable power station, along with a 200 watt portable foldable solar panel, together making a solar generator. If you've watched for a while, you know I use the AllPowers R2500 and we've been getting along great with that. But let's see how this one matches up.
Leisure Bit is the way to go with David, Rachel and Roxy. Let's hit the road and explore.
Thanks to AllPowers for supporting the channel and sending us the R1500 and the folding solar panel. Check out the link in the description for a special discount code. I'll pop Leisure Bit in at the checkout. You get some instructions, a handy tip sheet and also a cable to plug it in to charge it up. With the solar panel, you also get the cable that connects from that, when you've unfolded it, into the R1500. So you get everything you need to set up. Anything else then is what you want to plug in. Really simple. Let's go through the features. Firstly, I think it's amazing how it packs all this in this small case. You have an 1800 watt with 3000 watt surge inverter powering these 4 outlets. Brilliant. All of the plugs are 3-pin plugs. They also have these handy rubber covers. You can pull these off if you don't want them, but I find them quite handy. Tends to keep the dust out. One of the most important things to check, certainly for me, is can we make a coffee with it? We're starting on 93%. Let's see how we get on. To make this cup of coffee, we've gone from 93% to 88%. So yes, you can make a coffee with the R1500. To go along with the coffee, wouldn't it be nice to have a bit of toast? We're on 88%. The toast's in, and that's drawing about 920 watts. The toast has popped. Get a bit of butter on that, and that's breakfast done. You can run this toaster on the R1500. The saw used about 550 watts and works with the R1500. We made a little bit of a mess there, so let's see if we can clean it up with the hoover. Yes, we can use it with the hoover, and that was drawing just over 1300 watts. And I suppose the one everyone will be wondering is, will it run the smoke machine? You also have 2 USB-A, and they'll power 18 watts each, so a total of 36 watts. So whether you want to charge your drone, charge your camera, charge whatever you want to charge, you've got those. You also have 2 USB-C ports. The USB-C a power delivery at up to 100 watts for each port. So whether you're charging your drone, your cameras, your blender, your torch, whatever it happens to be, you can use it with these USB ports. As well as that, there's also a 12 volt DC port here. To switch it on, you use the button here and just hold it in for a couple of seconds. Then the display will light up. You can see at the moment got 64%. To turn on the USBs and the 12 volts, you simply press the button here. And to turn the inverter on, press the button there. The information then lights up on the display. Everything powered up there. To turn them off, simply press again, switch it off. To enable the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi feature, if you hold that button, so the one that powers on the USBs, for a few seconds, that switches that feature on. That is pretty much all you need to know. Other than that, it just works. On the left hand side, when we open the cover, the first connection we come to is the 230 volt input. Plug that in, plug it into a main socket, and away you go. Now, when you plug it in, you would typically use it for charging, but you can also use it for the UPS function. And what that does is, if there's a power cut, it'll keep the connected appliance running until the battery runs out. This is a really good feature where you need to power appliances, where if the power goes off, it would create a problem. It may be a computer, it could be medical equipment, it could be sensitive equipment, it could even be a fridge or a freezer. Pretty much anything 1800 watts or under, you could plug into this if you need assurance that the power will continue in the event of an outage. And that switches over really quickly, within 15 milliseconds, and that's super quick. After the AC input port, there's then a circuit breaker, which basically trips if it's overloaded. There's then a connector to connect your solar panel, XT60 if you're interested in the connector type, and that'll take between 12 and 95 volts. You can also get a lead that connects into your car when you're driving along. So the capacity of this is 1152 watt hours, or just over 1.1 kilowatt hours. Depending on what you're running and what you've got connected to it, will depend how long it runs for. So if you're charging your phone, if you're charging something else, if you've got something plugged into the 12 volt socket, if you're using the wireless chargers on the top, and you've got something plugged into the mains, so that would actually reduce the time it would run because you're drawing more power overall. It's not just what's drawn from the main sockets. Over here, we've got another port. You can expand the battery capacity with additional batteries. On the top of the unit, there is two handy wireless charging ports. You charge your phone, that's very handy, and no faff with cables. What's also quite handy is the display shows you how long, based on the current load, is left to run. If you want to know what you can run on this, the best way to do is have a look. If it shows less than 1800 watts, it should work fine. If it shows more than that, it likely won't run on it. The batteries within this are lithium iron phosphate batteries. And that for me is very important because that type of battery tends to be fairly stable and doesn't overly suffer from what's known as thermal runaway. And on top of that, the AllPowers has an intelligent battery management system to make sure those cells are looked after. And that's certainly something I would always check before using or buying a device such as this. Something you don't see, but something that is super important for safety. The other thing that it's really helpful for is where you want to get power to where you want to do something. For example, you might want to cut up a bit of wood or cut something up. You can just take the power station to it rather than having to move everything to where the power is or mess around with extension cables. Let's look at the solar panel now. So this is a 200 watt folding solar panel. We'll have a look at it out in the sun in a moment. So this is 55 by 58.5 by 4 centimetres. It's not too big. I do like this, and it's not too thick either. What it does have on the back, which is quite helpful, is a storage pocket. If we open it up, to connect it up, you basically plug that one into there, that one into there, and then just push them home to clip them in. That plugs into the power station. You could leave them connected up if you wanted to and just have that ready. It also comes with this connector, which connects to one of the barrel DC connectors there. Then we've got a number of different DC connectors here, different shapes and sizes, that you plug into here like so. Then you can plug into whatever device type you want. That zips up nicely. So that's your 200 watt folding solar panel. Into the R1500 you can connect up to 3 in series, giving you 600 watts. So let's see how this performs out in the sun. So here we've got the AllPowers 200 watt solar panel. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. On the back there's these feet which spread out. $200 watt portable foldable solar panel. This foldable panel has a nice output for its size, and it's very compact folded up. Let's get the cable out and then we can get it connected into the power station. Got the power station here. We open up the pocket and we're going to use this one. We're going to open the flap on the side that we looked at before, and then we're going to plug in the solar connection XT60. We now just need to connect these up. So that one goes into there like that, that one into there There we go. Let's check the clipped in properly. We're getting about 142 watts out. Not bad considering the time of year. We're just at the start of March. I do like how this folds up very compact, and you're getting 200 watts maximum output out of this. Even today, early March, we're getting 140 watts out of it. Let's have a look at some of the things we've tried it out with, because this has created some fantastic experiences. 1 carton of tropical juice, and then we will pop in a little bit of, right, let's shut the flap and let's select frozen cocktail, and there we go. We're at 100% and we're drawing about 140 watts. Let's come back to that in a little while and see how it's getting on. Just start to form a little bit of slush. Here you go, Rachel.
Thank you.
So when it's finished, it's on 90%. So we've used 10% of the capacity, making the slushy, and they're really tasty too. Yeah. So we finished that at 61%. Starting at 100%, get that boiled up, pop the pasta in, drop the pasta in there now. We're now at 88%, and we've taken it from 100% to 69%, so still plenty of power left to cook something else. Well, there we are, pretty empty plate, a delicious meal cooked in the hot pot on the AllPowers R1500. Nice.
I'm now going to see if it'll dry my hair and see if I can work it as well. Woohoo! That was really easy actually. It started at 69%, it's now at 65%, plenty of power to dry your hair. I've just come away from taking Roxy swimming, which is one of her favourite things to do, and I've just had a really good idea. I could dry her off in the van before she makes it mucky. Cracking idea. Let's go with the straighteners. My straighteners have heated up. That used 1%, hair drying and straightening about 5%. That means I could probably do it at least 20 times. That works for me, definitely. I'm really impressed with this. I wasn't sure it was going to do everything that I needed to with it being smaller, but you know what? It's impressed me.
Another common use of power stations is to actually use them to charge your van up if your van batteries run down, for example, or even to connect it up with the solar panels set up outside. Let's switch the power on. Let's press the button here. Just takes a few seconds for the inverter to power up, and we should hear the microwave. There we go. That's the microwave powered up. So the question now is, can we cook a burger and have it charging? We're currently drawing about 240 watts. So let's see how much that goes up to when we pop the microwave on and see whether this will power the van, charging and the microwave. Pop this burger in. Two minutes, 10 seconds. With the microwave running, we're drawing just under 1500 watts, which is powering the van and the microwave. It's nearly done, and there we go, it's ready. Burger in the microwave, powering the van via the power station. Yes, you can. Let's switch the mains power on and we'll see the power ramp up here. So we're currently charging at approximately 1 kilowatt. Now while we're doing that, let's take a look at the app. What we need to do now is to just turn the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on, and we can do that by holding the button as we said earlier. So that's now switched on. We've opened the AllPowers app and let's add a Bluetooth device. We can see there the AllPowers R1500 version 2 is there. Let's open that up. So we've got the remaining time, which is 111 hours and 16 minutes. We've also got watt output, so we're using 3 watts at the moment because we're charging the AirPods, just still on there. We can then see that the AC outlets aren't switched on. We can turn on if we want, just by using the button there. So while the DC's on, you can see there we've got the 12 volt, the USB and the USB-C. And what we'll do is press on this ... and it takes us into some additional settings. Here we can change to either mute mode, if we put it on that first of all. And what that'll do is it'll reduce down the power that we're actually putting into the device. That's dropped the input power now to around 400 watts. Let's go back in and let's change it now. Instead of from mute mode, let's go to fast mode. We're at 1500 watts. So if you want to charge it quickly, you can go into the menu and change that. Also in here, there's an eco setting that you can turn on. You can also then control the eco mode shutdown time. And there we have it. You don't need the app to use it. It's just an extra feature. So that's the AllPowers app. Let's take a quick look at the thermals on it. It's been on charge now for a little while. Nothing really of any concern there. Just mainly around the display. It's not hot. Let's check on the exhaust. Oh, looking good there, nothing running overly hot. From our experience, how does the R1500 compare with the R2500?
The big one is too heavy. The R1500 I can pick up though. It's about 10 kilos lighter. With the bigger one, I needed David to help me lift it and move it around. However, with this one, I can do it all by myself. I was worried that it wouldn't run everything that I needed it to do, but it does. And that means that I can take it and use it whenever I need to without David helping me. That's a bonus.
Side by side, this is the R2500, which we've been using now for a number of months. And then we've got the R1500. What we found with this smaller one, you can fit it in much easier into little nooks and crannies, especially in the van. The R2500, it's obviously got pretty much double the capacity of the R1500, and also it'll run things that this won't. The things we found that this doesn't run, that the R2500 does run, tends to be cooking appliances that are rated 2000 watts and up over. So for example, the Opti grill is 2000 watts, so you require this one for that. The air fryer that we've got, the larger one, most of the other stuff has run absolutely fine on the R1500. Both of these are fantastic power stations, and depending on your needs, depending on what size you want, what weight you want, what capacity you want, they are both brilliant. And the folding solar panels are super helpful. I love the way you can angle them to get the best output from the sun. If I had a magic wand and could change something about the R1500, what would it be? I'd love a higher output 12 volt socket, perhaps something round the side where you could draw 30 or 40 amps. That would be brilliant. For the solar panel, it'd be fantastic if it came with some tie-down straps. I know you can buy these separately, but on a windy day like this, it's really needed to hold it in place. That's our overview of the AllPowers R1500 and folding solar panel. I hope you found that useful. And don't forget, you can get hold of your own. Check out the link in the description for a special discount, or pop the code LEISUREBIT on the AllPowers website at the checkout. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it useful, and I will catch you for the next bit. Bye!